Hey everyone, welcome to SFDC Stop, and in this video we are going to talk about how we can create a binary tree in Apex. So let's begin. First of all, let's see what is a binary tree. So binary tree is a data structure in which each data is stored in the form of nodes. Okay. So let's say I have a node here which is having a value as 1, and this node can have two child at max. One is the left child and one is the right child. So I can say that here is a node which is having a value as 2, here is a node which is having a value as 3. Okay. And this node can again have two child, one is the left child and one is the right child. This node can again have two child, one is the left child and one is the right child. So we can say that we have a node with a value 4, here we have a node with a value 5, and here we have a node with a value 6, and here we have a node with a value 7. Okay. So such kind of data structure where each data is stored in the form of node is known as a binary tree. So this kind of data structure is known as a binary tree. Now let's see some of the other terminologies regarding binary tree. So the first terminology is that each binary tree will always start from a root node. And this root node is nothing but a node which is staying at the top of a binary tree. So the node which is at the top of a binary tree is known as a root node, and each binary tree will always start from a root node. So let's say you want to go to node number 5. So we will always start from the root node, and then you will traverse to the left hand direction, and then you will traverse to the right direction, and then you will reach node number 5. Okay. So you have to start from the root node always. The next thing that we have is that each node in the binary tree can have either 0 children or 1 children or 2 children at max. Okay. So each node inside a binary tree can have either 0 children or 1 children or 2 children at max. For example, if you see node number 1, it is having 2 children. Okay. 1, 2 and 3. If you see node number 2, it is also having 2 children, this and this. If you see node number 3, it is also having 2 children, this and this. However, if you see node number 4, or if you see node number 5, node number 6, or node number 7, all these nodes are having 0 children, right? They don't have any children further. So all these nodes are having 0 children. So we can say that a node inside a binary tree which is having 0 children is known as a leaf node. So here comes another terminology that a node inside a binary tree which is having 0 children is known as a leaf node. So this is pretty much some theoretical stuff regarding what is a binary tree and what are root node, what are leaf nodes. Okay. Now let's see how we can implement a binary tree in Apex. So it's time to jump over to the code. So here what we have done, we have created a class known as binary tree, and inside this class I have created another class which is known as a node class. Okay. And as you know, each node is going to have a data value, it is going to have a left child, and it is going to have a right child. So that is why I am going to have a data value which is of type object. I am using object type because I want to store any kind of data inside my node. For example, it can be string or it can be an integer as well, right? That is why I have taken the data type as object. However, for the left child, the data type is node, and for the right child, the data type is node. Why? Because my left child is going to store the address of a node, right? And my right variable is also going to store the address of a node. That's why I am taking these variables of data type node. Okay. So that's about the node class, and inside this node class we have a constructor which is going to receive a data, and it is going to construct a new node. So whenever you are going to pass some data inside this node, it is going to construct a new node like this, and this new node will have some value, for example some data, and it will have the left child as null and the right child as also null. So this will create a new node with left child as null and right child as null. So after this we have another variable which is named as root, and this root is also of type node, right? So this root variable is going to store the root of the binary tree. As I told you earlier, that each binary tree will always start from the root node. So this is the root node of my binary tree, which is nothing but a data member of binary tree class. Okay. After this, we have an insert data method which is responsible to insert data inside the binary tree. Okay. So let's see this insert data method in detail, and let's see how we can insert data inside a binary tree. So I'm just going to clear this stuff, and now we'll consider some values, and we are going to create a binary tree using those values by checking the algorithm inside our insert data method. So let's say I want to insert value number 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 inside my binary tree. Okay. So let's say how this works. First of all, I don't have anything. Okay. So let's say I passed in value number 1 inside my function. So I have value number 1 here as a data. Now I'm checking if my root node is null or not. So right now I don't have anything, so my root is null definitely. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new node with data as 1, and I'm going to return. Okay. So a new node will be created with data as 1, and it will have left child as null and right child as also null. And I'm going to assign this node as a root node. So I'm going to say that this node is nothing but my root node. Okay, so this is the root node, and I'm going to return from the function. So that's it. So 1 is processed. Now let's move on to node number 2. Because I returned from this function, so I'm not proceeding ahead as of now. So I'm passing node number 2 here. So here this time the data value is 2. Then again I'm checking if my root node is null. So if you see here, this time my root node is not null. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to initialize a new queue of nodes. So let's initialize a new queue here. It will look something like this. And then I'm going to add a root node inside the queue. So I'm going to add 1 inside the queue. After that, I'm going to check, or I'm going to loop in while nodes queue is not empty. So while this queue is not empty, I'm going to, I execute all these conditions. So what is the first condition? We need to get the first node from the queue and we need to remove it from the queue, and this node will be pointed as the current node, or I can say this node will be marked as the current node. So let's say I have a variable here which is known as current, and I popped this node from the queue and I marked it as the current node. So right now I can say 1 is my current node. After this, I'm going to check if left of the current node is not equal to null, then I'm going to push the left of the current node to the queue. Otherwise, I'm going to create a new node and mark it as the left of the current node. Okay. So in this case, the left of the current node, which is the left side of the 1, it is null. Okay. So it is null. That's why I'm going to move on to else. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new node. So let's create a new node. First of all, let's create a new node. This time data value is 2. So it will have data as 2. It will have a left child and the right child as null. And this node is going to be assigned to current.left. So this node is going to be assigned to current.left, which I have already done here. Okay. So node number 2 is marked as the left of node number 1. And after that, there are some other conditions as well, which we are not going to consider as of now, because we are already returning from this particular condition, right? So we are already returning from here. Okay, so let's see what happens when 3 is coming up. Okay, so this is done because we have already returned from the method. Now I'm considering node number 3. So for node number 3, I'm going to pass 3 inside this method. So I'm going to pass a value as 3. So this time data value is 3. After that, I'm going to check if root is null or not. So root is not null. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move ahead and I'm going to create a queue of nodes. So let's say this queue is created again, or let me just create a new queue. So let's say I create a new queue like this, and then I'm going to add root node inside my queue. So I'm going to add 1 inside my queue. After that, I'm going to check while my queue is not empty. So my queue is not empty. I'm going to get the first node from the queue and mark it as the current node. So 1 is popped and it is marked as the current node. After that, I'm going to check if left of the current is not equal to null. So this time, if you see, left of 1 is not equal to null. So this means this condition is true. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the left of current to the queue. So that means the left of the current node, which is nothing but 2, is added to the queue. After that, so I'm not going to move on to else condition because this condition is true. So we are going to proceed forward. And if you see here, the next condition is about the right child. So if the right child of the current node is not equal to null, so if the right child of 1, which is the current node, is not equal to null, this is false. So I'm going to move on to the else condition, and my else condition says that create a new node with the value as data. So I'm going to create a new node with the value as data. Here my data is 3, and I'm going to mark it as the right of the current node. So I'm going to mark it as the right child of my current node, which is nothing but 1. So 3 is added as the right child of the current node, which is nothing but 1. Okay, and this should always have the left and the right child as null. Now let's see what happens when 4 is coming. So because I returned from this method, so I'm not going to proceed ahead, and now I'm going to consider 4. So let's just not talk about this queue because we are already returned from the method. So when 4 is coming, this method is going to have a data value as 4, and here I'm going to check if root is null. Root is not null. Let's proceed ahead, create a queue. So I'm going to create a queue here, and I'm going to add root node to the queue. So root node is going to add it to the queue, and then I'm going to check while queue is not empty. So queue is not empty, I'm going to proceed ahead. First of all, I'm going to pop the first node from the queue and mark it as the current node. So let's pop it and mark it as the current node, which is this. Then I'm going to check if left of the current node is not equal to null. So left of 1 is not null. I'm going to add that node to the queue. So that node is added to the queue, and else condition is not executed. So we are proceeding forward. Okay. And then we are checking. So then we are checking if the right child of the current node is not equal to null. So current is 1. Right child of the current node is not equal to null. So this condition is again true. So I'm going to add the right child of the current node to the queue. So that means 3 is again added to the queue. And else condition is not again executed. So I'm going to proceed ahead. So again we get back to our while loop, and again we check while queue is not empty. So queue is still not empty. I'm going to get the first node from the queue, which is 2. So I'm going to pop this and mark it as the current node. So this time my current node is 2. Okay. And then we are checking if left of the current node is not equal to null. If you see here, the left of the current node, which is 2, is null this time, right? So this is not going to be executed, and this will execute. So here it is written that I'm going to create a new node and mark it as the left of the current node. So I'm going to create a new node. I'm going to give it a value which is nothing but 4. So this node will be having a value as 4, and I'm going to mark it as the left of the current node. So it is going to be the left of the current node, which is nothing but left of 2. Okay. So this is how the node is inserted. Now let's see node number 5, because we are going to return from this method right here. So we are not going to proceed ahead. So this queue is done. Let's proceed to node number 5. So this time we are going to have 5 passed inside our method. Again, this time root is not equal to null. We are going to proceed forward. We are going to again create a queue like this, and we are going to add our root node to the queue. So we are going to add node number 1 inside the queue. After that, we are checking while queue is not empty, proceed ahead. So queue is not empty. I'm going to get the first node from the queue and mark it as the current node. So first node is popped, and this is marked as the current node. So let me just make the current node again. So this is my current node. It is having a value as 1. Okay. So this is current node. After that, I'm checking if the left child of the current node is not equal to null, add that node to the queue. So left of 1 is not equal to null, add it to the queue, and else condition is not going to execute. And similarly, I'm checking for the right child as well. So if right of the current is not equal to null, add it to the queue. So right of 1 is not equal to null, add it to the queue. So 3 is again going to add to the queue, and else is not executed, so I'm not going to consider it as of now. So what we are going to do, we are going to move back to our while loop, right? So that means node number 1 is processed and its left and right child are added to the queue. So it's time to move over to the next node. The next node is popped from the queue and it is marked as the current node. So that means node number 2 is popped from the queue and it is marked as the current node. So current node is nothing but 2 this time. Then I'm checking if left of the current node is not equal to null. So if you see here, the left of the current node, which is 4, and it is not null, right? So I'm going to push 4 to the queue. So it is written that if left of the current node is not null, that means left of 2 is not null, add it to the queue. So I'm added it to the queue. And else condition is not going to execute. So let's move on to other condition, which is if the right of the current node is not equal to null. So if the right of the current node is not equal to null, so this condition is false. That means this is not going to execute. Else condition will be executed. And else condition says that create a new node with value as data and assign it as the right of the current node. So I'm going to create a new node with a value as data, value is 5, and I'm going to assign it as the right child of the current node. So current is 2, so it is assigned as the right child of the current node, right? So that's how my nodes are inserted inside the binary tree. So let's say I have some more nodes. Let's say I have node number 6, node number 7. So again a queue will be formed, right? It will have some values as 1, 2, 3, and then I'll have a value as 4. So this will be popped. I'll have a value as 4, and I'll have a value as 5 as well, because 2 has 2 children, 4 and 5, right? Then 2 will be popped, and then 3 will be popped, and then I'll check if the left child is not null. So left child is null. That's why the next node which is coming, it will be assigned as the left of the current node. Similarly, for the right child, I'll check if right child is not null, right child is null. That's why the next node which is coming will be assigned as the right of the current node. So that's how the nodes are inserted inside a binary tree. So I hope this algorithm is clear to you. Let me just clear the screen and we'll go through it very quickly. So we are just checking whenever we are receiving a data, if root is null, then create a new node and assign it as a root node. If root is not null, I'm going to create a queue. I'm going to add a root node inside the queue, and I'm going to execute this whole condition inside the while loop until my queue is not empty. So until all the nodes that are in my queue are processed. So what I'm going to do each time I'm getting the first node from the queue and I'm removing it from the queue, and that first node is nothing but a current node. After that, I'm checking if left child is not null, add it to the queue, and if it is null, create a new node and mark it as the left child. For example, I have already a node, so if left child is not null, if it is not null, add it to the queue. If it is null, create a new node and mark it as a left child. Okay. Similarly, for right, I'm checking that if it is not null, add it to the queue. If it is null, create a new node and add and mark it as the right child. Okay. So that's how the nodes are inserted inside the binary tree. Because I'm using a queue, so that's why it is going level by level. So first of all, it is taking 1, adding 2 and 3 to the queue. Then it is taking 2 and adding this child to the queue. And then it is taking 3 and adding these childs from the queue. So let's say, first of all, 1 is added. So 1 is added to the queue. Then 1 is popped and 2 and 3 are added. So 2 and 3 are added to the queue. Then 2 is popped and the childs 4 and 5 are added. So I can say 4 and 5 are added to the queue. And then when 3 is popped, then 6 and 7 are added. So I can say that 6 and 7 are added to the queue. So you see, each time we are going level by level. Now we'll traverse 4, 5 and 6, 7. So now this level will be traversed. So each time we are going level by level and we are inserting new node inside the binary tree. I mean, which we are considering as each node one by one that we are encountering in a particular level. Okay. So that's all regarding insertion of a node inside a binary tree. I hope this code is clear to you. Now let's see what we are doing in other methods. So I have created a new method named as create binary tree. This is doing nothing. It is just accepting a list of elements, which is nothing but a list of object, and it is iterating a for loop, and it is calling insert data method again and again for each and every element. So let's say I got a list here, which is nothing but, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is calling insert data for each and every element one by one. So first of all, 1 is passed, then 2 is passed, then 3 is passed, one by one, and a binary tree is being constructed. Okay. So that's what is being done in this method. Now let's move ahead. So we have level order print method. So level order print method is responsible to display a binary tree level by level. So if you know, right now what we did, we created a binary tree level by level. So first of all, we created this node, then we created its child, and then we created these childs, and then we created these childs. So we were creating a binary tree level by level. So in this method, we are going to print a binary tree level by level. Okay. So I have created a binary tree right here, as you can see. And now we'll see how we can print a binary tree by using this method. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. First of all, we are checking if the root node is null or not. So if root is not null, then only we are going to proceed forward. And in case the root node is null, I'm going to simply throw a message which will say tree not found, because you know that each binary tree always starts from the root node. So in case we don't have a root node, we can simply display tree not found. Okay. So let's see. If the root node is not null, we are going to proceed ahead, and I'm going to initialize a string here, and this string starts from a /n character, which is nothing but a new line. So let's say this is my output window right here. Okay, this is my output window, and I can say that I have initialized my string with a new line. Okay, so this is my result string which is going to be displayed in the output. So I have initialized it with a new line. So my output will start from here. Now what I'm doing, I'm initializing a queue of nodes. Like, you know, when we were inserting a node inside a binary tree, we were initializing a queue, and then we are going level by level. Similarly, we are also initializing a queue here. So let me initialize a queue, and I'm going to add root node to the queue. So root node is 1. I'm going to add this to the queue. After that, I'm going to execute some snippet while the queue is not empty. Okay. So this whole code snippet will be executed up till here. This will be executed while the queue is not empty. So what I'm doing each time, I'm going to get the size of the queue first of all. So this size of the queue will specify how many elements are at a current level. For example, right now the queue size is 1. So that means at this particular level, I have only one element. Okay. So nodes at current level, I'm going to get a size of the queue which will specify the nodes at the current level. So right now I have only one node. Then I'm going to check while nodes at current level is greater than 0. So right now I'm going to have the size as 1 and 1 is greater than 0. So I'm going to proceed ahead. What I'll do, I'll get the node from the queue and I'll remove it from the queue. So I'll get 1 from the queue and I'll remove it from the queue. And I'll add the data of the current node to my result string with a space. In our result string, 1 is added with a space. Okay. After that, I'm checking if left of the current node is not null, and if right of the current node is not null, add them to the queue. Okay. So if I see 1, left of 1 is not null, right of 1 is not null, add them to the queue. So 2 is going to be added to the queue and 3 is going to be added to the queue. Okay. Then I'm going to say nodes at current level minus minus. So nodes at current level, it was having a value 1. Then now I'm going to decrement it by 1. So it will going to have a value as 0. So that means I don't have any node left at this particular level, right? So I don't have any node left at this particular level. I have already processed all the nodes. So when nodes at current level become 0, I'm going to come out of this while loop and I'm going to add a new line to the result. So now my pointer for the result string is at this line. So I can say the further output will come at a new line. Okay. Now let's see. So now again we are checking while the nodes queue is not empty. So nodes queue is still not empty, right? I'm going to get the queue size. So queue size is now 2 because I have 2 nodes inside my queue. So queue size is 2. And this queue size is stored at nodes at current level. So we have a variable named as nodes at current level, and this variable is storing the value 2. So this means that for this particular level, for the next level, I'm going to have 2 nodes, right? As you can see, the next level is having 2 nodes. That's why we have 2 elements inside the queue. Now we are saying that get a first node from the queue and add it to the result. So I'm going to get a first node from the queue, add it to the result with a space, and then I'm checking if the left and right child of the current node is not null. So the current node is 2 right now, left is also not null, right is also not null. I'm going to push left to the queue and right to the queue as well. So let's push 4 to the queue and let's push 5 to the queue as well. Okay, so 4 or 5 when pushed, and nodes at current level minus minus. So nodes at current level is going to be decremented by 1. Now it will be 1, right? Then I'm going to execute this while loop again. So this while loop will be executed again. While nodes at current level is greater than 0, so 1 is greater than 0, I'm going to proceed ahead. Get the current node from the queue. So I'm going to pop 3 from the queue this time, and I'm going to add it to the result. So 3 is going to be added to the result. And after that, I'm checking if left child of 3 is not null, right child of 3 is not null. If that's true, add them to the queue. So left child of 3 is not null, right is also not null, add them to the queue. So 6 is also added and 7 is also added to the queue, right? Okay, cool. After that, we are checking nodes at current level minus minus. So nodes at current level is again decremented and this time it's 0. And once it's 0, this while loop is going to terminate and I'm going to add a new line to my result. So what this means? This means that all the nodes that were at this particular level are done and we have traversed those. So it's time to add a new line. So I'm going to add a new line now and all the further nodes will come at this particular line. Okay. So let's move ahead. Now what we are going to do, we are again going to check if the queue is not empty. So here also we can see we have 4 nodes present inside the queue. So our queue is not empty. Queue size will be 4. So I'll again create a variable nodes at current level. So it will be nodes at current level. It is going to have a value as 4 and which is nothing but queue size. So right now if you see the queue size is 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And if you see the nodes at this level, it is also 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So now we are checking. First of all, if the nodes at current level is greater than 0, which is true, I'm going to get a first node from the queue. So 4 is going to be popped from the queue, and then I'm going to add 4 to the result. So 4 is added to the result, and with a space. So again a space is there, right, for indentation. And then we are checking if left of 4 is not null, right of 4 is not null. So if you see here, left of 4 is null and right of 4 is also null. So this time these conditions are false. That means nothing is going to be added to the queue, and I'm going to decrement the nodes at current level by 1. So nodes at current level will be decremented by 1. This will become 3. Then I'm going to iterate this loop again while 3 is greater than 0. So this is true. I'm going to get a current node. So current node is 5. It will be added to the result. So current node is added to the result. So 5 is added here. And then I'm checking if the left and right child of the current node is not null. But here we can see left and right child are null. So these are not going to be executed. And then I'm going to decrement the nodes at current level by 1. So 5 is also processed. That's why I'm going to decrement it by 1. This will now become 2. And I'm going to execute this loop again because still the nodes at current level are greater than 0. So 2 is still greater than 0. So I'm going to execute this loop again. Now I'm getting another node from the queue. So 6 is also popped from the queue. I'm going to add it to the result. So 6 is going to be added here. And then I'm checking for the left and right child. So if you see, left is all again null and right is null. So these are not going to be executed. And nodes at current level minus minus. So this means nodes at current level will be decremented by 1, and this will now become 1, right? So if you see here, at this particular current level, I have only one node left which is not processed, which is 7, right? So this loop will again execute because 1 is greater than 0. I'm going to get a current node from the queue. So this time the node will be 7. And I'm going to remove it and I'm going to add it to the result. So 7 will be added to the result. After that, I'm going to check if left and right child of 7 are not null. If you see here, left is again null and right is also null. So this is not going to be executed. And nodes at current level minus minus. So nodes at current level was 1. This is going to be decremented by 1. This will become 0. And then I'll check if nodes at current level is greater than 0. So if you see here, nodes at current level is now 0. Okay. So this while loop will break, because if you see, we have processed all the nodes that were present at the current level. So this loop will break. We'll add a new line to our result. So we'll add a new line here, and the next things or the next nodes will start from here. And then we are going to move on to our outer loop. So our outer loop will check while queue is not empty. But in this case, if you see, we have processed all the nodes inside our queue and our queue is now empty. Okay. So this while loop will terminate right here and we'll proceed ahead. So if you see, after that we are doing nothing, we are just displaying the result. So this will be our final result, which is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And if you see, our tree is also like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So this is how we can basically traverse a binary tree. Okay. So now we have seen that how we can create a binary tree, how we can insert data inside a binary tree, and how we can print a binary tree as well. Now it's time to put our code to action and to see how this code works. Okay. So for this purpose, what I have done, I have created an instance of my binary tree class, which is known as tree. And I'm going to use create binary tree method, where I can pass a list and it will automatically create a binary tree of that list, right? So if you remember, our create binary tree method is going to take each and every element of the list one by one, and it is going to pass it to the insert data method. So I'm passing a list of numbers here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and this is my list of integers. So I have taken object here so that I can pass any kind of data type. So that's why I'm passing it as integer, so it will work fine. And then I'm printing my binary tree by using level order print method. So first of all, I'm creating the binary tree and then I'm printing it. Okay. So let's execute this code and let's see how it works. So if you see here, my binary tree is created successfully, and this is how my binary tree is looking like. Okay, this is the output. So my output is perfectly correct, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And if you see the input as well, the input that I gave in right here, it was nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and I got my output in the same manner, which is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this means that I'm getting the current output, and the binary tree is also created fine. It is created like this only, 1 and then here 2 and then here 3, right? And then we have 4, and then we have 5, and then we have 6, and then we have 7. It is the same example that we executed just now. Okay. So let's say, what if I pass some other kind of data type? So this time I'm going to pass a list of strings, and we have strings as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. And again, I'm going to create a binary tree and I'm going to print that binary tree. So I'm just going to execute this code. So if you see this time, again our tree is constructed successfully and it is looking like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So in the same order, the binary tree is created. This time the first node is A, and the left child is going to store a value as B, the right child is going to store a value as C, and then we are going to have D, and then here E, and then here we are going to have F, and here we are going to have G. Okay, so this is how our binary tree is constructed inside the memory, and here you can see the output, which is nothing but a level order traversal inside the binary tree. So in this particular case, where we created our binary tree, both the insertion as well and the traversal as well were level order, because while inserting the node as well, we were inserting level by level, and while traversal of binary tree as well, that means while printing the binary tree as well, we were also traversing level by level. Okay, so let's have a look at a blog as well, just to make sure that we haven't missed anything. So this is my binary tree, and you will find all the code that we just had a look at inside the blog, and I'll also share the link of the blog in the description of the video, so no worries there. And we have the node class, insertion, and level order print. This is also fine, and creating a binary tree from the list of elements, the output, we have done everything. So yeah, so I guess everything is covered. So in this tutorial we learned how we can create a binary tree, and in the next tutorial we'll learn some more advanced features of the binary tree, and we'll see that how we can insert a node inside a binary tree based on the parent node. Okay, so we'll see how we can insert a node inside a binary tree based on the value of the parent node. And if you want to get a look at the code, you can have a look at the GitHub repository. It's Rahul Malhotra/apex-data-structure. You will find all the code related to binary tree in this particular branch, and you will find all the code in the blog as well, and I'll share the links in the description of the video. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial, everyone. I hope you liked it. Let me know your feedback in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.